Welcome to my channel. Today we learned something very powerful. We learned that talking is the real key to English. We saw a simple journey, a student who knew many words but could not speak, a student who felt afraid, who stayed silent, and who missed chances in real life. But then everything started to change. Step by step, with small sentences, with simple practice, with courage. Talking helped build confidence. Talking helped remember words. Talking helped improve listening. Talking helped the mind think in English. And slowly, talking started to change life. Small conversations became real connections. Fear became confidence. Silence became voice. In this lesson, we did not learn difficult grammar. We did not learn big rules. We learned something simple and real. If you speak, you grow. If you speak, you improve. If you speak, you change. This is not just a lesson. This is a new way to learn English. Stay with me. Let us go deeper. Chapter 1. Why talking is the real key. My name is Ahmed. I am a student of English. I live in a small city. I like English. I study English every day. I watch videos. I read small stories. I learn new words. I write them in my notebook. I know many words now. I know how to say hello. I know how to say thank you. I know how to ask simple questions. But there is one problem. I cannot speak. Every time I want to speak, I stop. My mind becomes blank. My heart beats fast. I feel nervous. I feel afraid. I think, what if I make a mistake? I think, what if people laugh at me? So I stay quiet. I listen. I understand a little, but I do not speak. One day, something happens. I go to a small shop near my house. A foreign man is there. He looks confused. He looks around. Then he looks at me and says, "Excuse me, can you help me?" I understand him. I know these words. I want to help him. I want to speak, but I cannot. My mouth does not open. My voice does not come out. I just look at him. I smile a little, but I say nothing. After a few seconds, he says, "It's okay, thank you," and he leaves. I stand there. I feel bad. I feel very bad. I walk home slowly. I think about that moment again and again. I say to myself, I knew the words. I understood him, but I could not speak. This hurts me. This is my problem. I know English, but I cannot use it. That night, I sit in my room. I open my notebook. I see many words. So many words. But they are just words. They are not my voice. They are not my sentences. They are not my life. Then I write one sentence in my notebook. If I don't speak, I don't learn. The next day, I decide to do something new. I join an English class. It is near my home. The class is small. There are only 6 students. The teacher comes into the room. She smiles. She says, "Good morning." We all say, "Good morning." Then she says something very interesting. She says, "In this class you will speak. You will not stay silent. You will not be perfect. But you will speak." I feel nervous when I hear this. Speak? Every day? I am not ready, but I also feel excited. The teacher writes one sentence on the board. She writes, "English is not in your book. English is in your mouth." I look at this sentence again and again. I feel something strong inside me. Maybe this is true. Then the teacher gives us a simple task. She says, "Stand up, talk to your partner, say your name, say where you are from, ask one question." This is easy. I know these words. But still, I feel afraid. I stand up. I look at my partner. His name is Ali. He smiles and says, "Hello, my name is Ali. I am from Turkey. What is your name?" I listen. I understand everything. Now it is my turn. I take a deep breath. I say, "Hello, my name is Ahmed. I am from Pakistan." My voice is slow. My voice is not strong, but I speak. This is the first time I speak in class. Ali smiles. He says, "Nice to meet you." I say, "Nice to meet you too." This is a small conversation, very small, but for me, it is big, very big. After the activity, I sit down. My heart is still beating fast, but I feel something new. I feel happy. I feel proud. I spoke. I really spoke. The teacher looks at us and says, "Do you see? You can speak. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need big words. You only need courage. You only need to try." Then she tells us something very important. She says, "Many students learn English for years. They read, they write, they listen, but they do not speak. And because they do not speak, they do not improve. Speaking is the key. Speaking is the bridge between learning and real life." I listen carefully. This is my story. This is exactly my problem. I learn, but I do not speak. Now I understand. Talking is not the last step. Talking is the first step. After class, I go outside. I see people. I hear sounds. I feel different today. I feel like I can try again. I go to a small cafe. I stand at the counter. The man asks, "What would you like?" I feel nervous again, but this time I do not stop. I say, "I would like tea." My sentence is simple, but it is clear. The man says, "Sure." He gives me tea. I say, "Thank you." He says, "You're welcome." I take my tea and sit down. I smile. This is a normal moment for many people, but for me, it is special. I spoke English in real life. I used my voice. I did not stay silent. In the evening, I write in my notebook again. This time, I write something new. Talking is the real key. When I speak, I learn. When I speak, I grow. When I speak, I live English. Now I understand something very important. English is not only in books. English is not only in videos. English is in conversations. English is in real life. And if I want to be part of that life, I must speak. I'm still not perfect. I still make mistakes. I still feel afraid sometimes. But now I know the truth. If I don't speak, nothing changes. If I speak, everything starts to change. From this day, I make a promise to myself. I will speak every day. I will speak even if it is small. I will speak even if it is not perfect, because now I know talking is not difficult. Talking is the key. Chapter 2. Talking builds confidence. Step by step. It is my second day in the English class. I wake up early. I feel something new inside me. Yesterday I spoke for the first time. It was small, but it was real. Today I want to try again. But I also feel afraid. My mind says, what if you make a mistake again? My heart says, try one more time. I listen to my heart. I go to class, I sit in my chair, I look around. Other students are talking. Some speak more, some speak less. But everyone is trying. Our teacher walks into the room. She smiles and says, "Good morning." We all answer, "Good morning." Then she says something very simple. She says, "Today we will speak more." When I hear this, I feel nervous again, but I also feel ready. The teacher writes on the board, "Confidence comes from action." She turns to us and says, "Many students wait for confidence. They think, I will speak when I feel ready." But this is not true. You feel confident after you speak, not before. I listen carefully. This is new for me. I always wait. I always think, one day I will be ready. But maybe that day never comes. The teacher gives us a task. She says, "Today, you will speak in small steps. Do not think about big sentences. Just speak small." She writes 3 simple sentences on the board. I like tea. I like coffee. I like water. She says, choose one and say it to your partner. This is very easy. I know these words, but still I feel something inside me. Fear is still there, but this time I do not stop. I turn to my partner. Today, my partner is a girl named Sarah. She smiles and says, I like coffee. Her voice is clear. She's not afraid. Now it is my turn. I say, I like tea. My voice is a little slow, but it is okay. Sarah smiles and says, nice. That's it. Just one sentence. But I did it again. Then the teacher says, now ask a question. She writes, do you like tea? We repeat it together. Then we ask our partners. I ask Sarah, do you like tea? She says, no, I like coffee. We both laugh. This is a real conversation. Very small, but real. I feel something growing inside me. It is not big yet, but it is there. It is confidence. The teacher walks around the class. She listens to us. She says, very good. You see, you can speak, step by step. Then she says something very important. She says, confidence is like a muscle. When you use it, it becomes strong. If you don't use it, it stays weak. I write this in my notebook. Speak to build confidence. After this, the teacher gives us another activity. She says, stand up, walk around, talk to 3 people, ask them one question. Now this is more difficult. I feel nervous again. Talking to one person is okay, but 3 people? This feels big. But I remember yesterday. I remember my promise. I stand up. I go to one student. I say, hello, what is your name? He says, "My name is Omar." I say, "Nice to meet you." He says, "Nice to meet you too." Then I go to another student. I ask, "Where are you from?" She says, "I am from Egypt." I say, "That is nice." My sentences are simple, but they are working. Then I go to the third student. This time, I feel less afraid. I ask, "Do you like English?" He laughs and says, "Yes, I like English, but it is hard." I say, "Yes, it is hard, but we can learn." When I finish, I sit down. I take a deep breath. I feel different. Something is changing inside me. Yesterday I could not speak. Today I spoke to 3 people. The teacher smiles and says, "You see, you are improving, not because you study more, but because you speak more." After class, I go outside. I feel light. I feel happy. I want to try again in real life. I walk to a small store. I pick up a bottle of water. I go to the counter. The man says, "Hello." I say, "Hello." Then I say, "How are you?" This is new for me. I never say this before in real life. He smiles and says, "I am good. How are you?" I say, "I am good." This is a very small conversation, but for me, it is big. I leave the store. I smile. I feel proud. I am not silent anymore. In the evening, I sit in my room. I think about my day. I remember every small moment, every sentence, every word. I write in my notebook. Small speaking creates big confidence. Then I try something new. I stand in front of the mirror. I look at myself. I feel a little shy, but I start speaking. I say, "Hello, my name is Ahmed. I like tea. I like English. I am learning every day." I repeat it again and again. My voice becomes stronger. My face becomes relaxed. I start to believe in myself. I understand something very important now. Confidence is not magic. Confidence is practice. When I speak, I feel better. When I speak again, I feel even better. Before, I waited for confidence. Now I create confidence. The next day, I know I will speak again. Maybe I will make mistakes. Maybe I will feel nervous, but I will not stop, because now I know the truth. Confidence does not come first. Speaking comes first. And when you speak, confidence follows you. So I say to myself, speak 1 sentence today, then speak 2, then speak more. Step by step, you will become confident. And now I am not afraid to try. Chapter 3. Talking helps you remember words faster. It is the 3rd day in my English class. I wake up and think about yesterday. I spoke to many people. I used simple sentences. I felt more confident. But today, I noticed something new. When I try to speak, sometimes I stop again. Not because I'm afraid, but because I forget words. I sit on my bed and think. I say in my mind, I want to say something, but what is the word? I feel a little frustrated. I know I studied many words. I wrote them in my notebook. I read them again and again. But when I need them, they are not there. I go to class. I feel a little confused. I want to ask this question. Our teacher comes in. She smiles and says, "Good morning." We all reply, "Good morning." Then she asks, "Do you have any questions today?" I raise my hand. I say, "Yes, I know many words, but when I speak, I forget them. Why?" The teacher smiles. She says, "This is a very important question. Many students have this problem." She walks to the board and writes 2 words, know and use. She points to the first word. She says, "You know many words. That is good." Then she points to the second word. She says, "But you do not use them. That is the problem." The class becomes quiet. We all listen carefully. She explains, "There are 2 types of vocabulary: passive vocabulary and active vocabulary. Passive vocabulary means words you understand when you read or listen. Active vocabulary means words you can use when you speak." I understand now. I have many passive words, but I do not have many active words. The teacher continues, "If you do not use a word, your brain forgets it. But when you speak, you use the word. When you use it again and again, it becomes strong. It becomes part of you." Then she says something very simple. She says, "If you want to remember words, speak them." This sentence is very powerful. I write it in my notebook. Speak to remember. The teacher gives us an activity. She writes 5 words on the board: happy, tired, hungry, busy, excited. She says, "Make simple sentences with these words. Speak them to your partner." I look at the words. I know all of them, but now I must use them. I turn to my partner, Ali. I say, "I am happy today." Then I say, "I am a little tired." Then, "I am hungry now." My sentences are simple, but I am using the words. Ali says, "I am busy today. I am excited for the weekend." We both smile. This is easy, but it is also powerful. Then the teacher says, "Now tell a short story. Use at least 3 words." This is more difficult. I think for a moment. Then I speak. I say, "Yesterday I was tired. I worked all day. Then I was very hungry. I ate food. After that, I felt happy." My story is small, but it is real, and I use the words. I feel something change in my mind. The words are not just in my notebook now. They are in my voice. After class, I walk home. I decide to try something new. I look around me and speak in English. I say, "I am walking on the road. I see a car. The car is fast. I see a man. He is busy." I feel a little strange, but I continue. Then I go to a small cafe. I sit down. I look at the menu. I say softly, "I am hungry. I want food." When the waiter comes, I say, "I would like a sandwich." I use the word hungry again in my mind. When I eat, I say in my head, "This food is good. I feel happy." I'm using the same words again and again. In the evening, I open my notebook. I look at the words from today. But this time, I do not just read them. I speak them. I say, "Happy? I am happy." "Tired? I am tired." "Excited? I am excited. Then I close the notebook. I try to remember the words without looking, and something amazing happens. I remember them easily. Before, I forgot quickly. Now I remember better. Why? Because I spoke the words. The next day, something special happens. In class, the teacher asks, "How are you today?" Before, I always said, "I am fine." But today, I say, "I am a little tired, but I am happy." This sentence comes naturally. I do not think too much. I feel proud. This is my word now. I can use it. Later, I meet a friend outside class. He asks, "What are you doing?" I say, "I am busy today. I have work." Again, the word comes easily. Now I understand the truth. Words are like tools. If you don't use them, they stay in the box. But when you use them, they help you build something. Talking is not only for communication. Talking is for memory. When I speak, I train my brain. When I repeat words in real life, they become strong. That night, I write in my notebook, "If I want to remember words, I must use them. If I use them, they stay with me." I also write something more. Speaking turns words into power. Now I do not only learn words, I use them. I speak them. I live them. I am still learning. I still forget sometimes. But now I know what to do. I speak more. I use simple sentences. I repeat words in my daily life. And slowly, step by step, my words are becoming my voice. Chapter 4. Talking improves listening automatically. It is the fourth day in my English class. I wake up and think about the last 3 days. I spoke more. I used words. I felt more confident. I remembered more vocabulary. But there is still one problem. When people speak fast, I do not understand everything. I sit on my chair and say in my mind, "Why is listening so difficult?" Sometimes I hear English, but it sounds like one long sound. I cannot hear the words clearly. I feel a little tired of this problem. I go to class. I want to find the answer today. Our teacher walks into the room. She smiles and says, "Good morning." We all reply, "Good morning." Then she asks, "How are you today?" Some students say, "I am fine." Some say, "I am happy." I say, "I am good, but I have a problem." The teacher looks at me and says, "What is your problem?" I say, "When people speak English, I cannot understand everything. They speak fast. I feel lost." The teacher smiles. She says, "This is normal. Every learner feels this." Then she writes on the board, "Speak to hear." We all look at the sentence. It is simple, but it is new. She explains, "Many students think listening and speaking are different, but they are connected. When you speak, your brain learns sounds. When your brain knows the sounds, your ears can hear them better." I listen carefully. This idea is new for me. She continues, "If you only listen, you will improve slowly. But if you speak and listen together, you will improve faster." Then she gives us a simple activity. She says, "I will say a sentence. You will repeat it." She says, "I am going to the market." We repeat, I am going to the market. She says it again, a little faster. I'm going to the market. We repeat again. This time, I notice something. The words are connected. I'm going to sounds like one sound. The teacher says, this is how people speak in real life. Words join together. If you do not speak them, you cannot hear them. Now I understand. When I speak slowly, I say every word. But when people speak fast, they connect words. That is why I cannot understand. We practice more. The teacher says, what are you doing? We repeat. Then she says it faster. What you doing? We laugh. It sounds very different. But when I repeat it, I start to hear it. The teacher smiles and says, you see, when you speak like this, your ears learn this sound. Next time, when someone says it, you will understand. This is a big moment for me. I feel like I discover something new. After that, we do another activity. We work in pairs. One student speaks. The other listens and repeats. I work with Ali. He says, I am tired today. I listen and repeat, I am tired today. Then I say, I am hungry now. He repeats. At first it feels simple, but then we speak faster. We connect words. We repeat again and again. Something starts to change. I hear the words more clearly. I understand better. After class, I go outside. I want to test this in real life. I walk to a bus stop. Two people are talking in English. Before, I could not understand much. But today, I listen carefully. I hear one man say, I'm going home now. This time, I understand it. Before, it sounded like one long sound. But now I can hear the words. I feel excited. This is new for me. Then I hear another sentence. What are you doing later? I understand it too. Not every word is clear, but I understand the meaning. I smile. I feel proud. My listening is changing. In the evening, I try something new. I open a video on my phone. It is a simple English video. I play it. First, I just listen. I understand some words. Then I play it again. This time, I repeat with the speaker. I say the same sentences. I copy the sound. I try to speak at the same speed. At first, it is difficult, but after a few tries, it becomes easier. My mouth learns the sounds. My ears learn the sounds. Then I play the video again without speaking. And something amazing happens. I understand more. Before, I needed subtitles. Now, I understand without them. I stop the video and say, this is working. That night, I write in my notebook. When I speak, I hear better. I also write, speaking trains my ears. The next day, I go to the cafe again. The man at the counter says, what would you like? This time, he speaks a little fast, but I understand him easily. I say, I would like coffee. He says, anything else? I say, no, that's all. This conversation is smooth. I do not feel lost. I do not feel confused. Now I understand something very important. Listening is not only about listening. Listening is also about speaking. When I speak, I learn how English sounds. When I learn the sounds, I understand people better. Before, English sounded fast and difficult. Now it sounds clearer. Not perfect, but better. I still have a long way to go. I still miss some words, but I am improving. Now I have a new habit. Every day I listen and speak. I repeat sentences. I copy sounds. I practice again and again, because now I know the truth. If I want to understand English, I must not stay silent. I must speak. And when I speak, my ears learn. And when my ears learn, I understand. This is the connection. This is the key. Chapter 5. Talking helps you think in English. It is the 5th day in my English class. I wake up early in the morning. I sit on my bed and look around my room. I see my table. I see my chair. I see my bag. And suddenly, something interesting happens. In my mind, I say, "This is my table." Then I say, "This is my chair." I stop for a moment. I feel surprised. I did not think in my language. I thought in English. It is only one sentence, very small, but it feels very big. I smile. I say to myself, something is changing. I go to class. I feel excited today. I want to understand this change. Our teacher comes into the room. She smiles and says, "Good morning." We all say, "Good morning." Then she asks, "What did you do yesterday?" Some students answer. I listen. Then I raise my hand. I say, "Yesterday I watched a video. I listened and I spoke." My sentence is simple, but I speak without stopping. The teacher smiles. She says, "Very good." Then she says something important. She says, "Today we will talk about thinking in English." When I hear this, I feel curious. This is exactly what I experienced in the morning. The teacher writes on the board, "Think in English, not translate." She turns to us and says, "Many students translate in their mind. They think in their language, then change it to English. This takes time. This makes speaking slow." I nod my head. This is true for me. Before, I always translated. First, I think in my language. Then I search for English words. Sometimes I find them. Sometimes I do not. The teacher continues, "If you want to speak fast and easily, you must think in English, and talking helps you do this." This sentence is very powerful. I listen carefully. She explains, when you speak English every day, your brain starts to change. Slowly, you stop translating. You start thinking directly in English. Then she gives us a simple exercise. She says, "Close your eyes. Think about your morning. Now say it in English." I close my eyes. I think about my morning. Then I say slowly, I wake up. I drink water. I go to class. These are simple sentences, but I do not translate. I think and speak in English. The teacher says, "Very good. Start small. Use simple sentences. This is how thinking begins." After this, she gives another activity. She says, "Talk to yourself in English." Some students laugh. It feels funny. But the teacher says, "This is very powerful. When you talk to yourself, you practice thinking." I decide to try this. After class, I walk home. I look at the street. I say in my mind, I am walking. The weather is hot. The road is busy. I do not use my language. I only use English. At first, it feels slow. I need time to find words. But I continue. Then I go to a shop. I see fruits. I say in my mind, these are apples. They are red. I like apples. I am not speaking to anyone, but I am thinking in English. Something feels different. My brain is working in a new way. In the evening, I try one more exercise. I sit in my room. I look at my day. I ask myself, what did I do today? Then I answer in English. I say, today I go to class. I speak English. I learn new things. I feel happy. My sentences are simple, but they come from my mind, not from translation. Then I stand in front of the mirror. I speak again. I say, my name is Ahmed. I am learning English. I speak every day. I am improving. I look at myself. I feel more confident. I understand something very important now. Talking is not only for speaking with others. Talking is also for speaking with yourself. When I talk to myself, I train my brain. I train my thoughts. I build a new habit. The next day, something amazing happens again. In class, the teacher asks a question. She says, "What do you want to do in the future?" Before, I would stop. I would think in my language. I would try to translate. But today, something is different. I answer quickly. I say, I want to speak English well. I want to travel. I want to meet new people. I speak without stopping. I do not translate. The words come directly. I feel surprised. I feel proud. This is a big moment for me. After class, I meet Ali. We talk in English. The conversation is simple, but it is smooth. I do not stop too much. I do not search for every word. I realize something. When I think in English, speaking becomes easy. Before, speaking was slow and difficult. Now it is becoming natural. That night, I write in my notebook. Talking helps me think. Thinking helps me speak. I also write, stop translating, start thinking. Now every day I practice this. I think in English when I walk. I think in English when I eat. I think in English when I sit alone. I ask myself small questions. What am I doing? What do I need? What do I want? And I answer in English. Slowly, my brain is changing. English is not only something I study, it is becoming something I use. I still make mistakes. I still forget words. But I do not stop. I continue. Because now I know the truth. If I want to speak English, I must think in English. And if I want to think in English, I must talk. Talking is the bridge between my thoughts and my words. And now, step by step, I am crossing that bridge. Chapter 6. Talking changes your life. It is the 6th day in my English journey. I wake up in the morning and sit quietly for a moment. I think about the past few days. I remember the first day when I could not speak. I remember the fear. I remember the silence. And now I feel different. I am not perfect. I still make mistakes, but I'm not silent anymore. I stand up and look in the mirror. I smile and say, "Good morning." My voice is clear. My face is relaxed. This small moment feels strong. I am not afraid of my own voice now. I go outside. The world looks the same. The streets are the same. The people are the same. But something inside me is different. I feel open. I feel ready. I go to my English class. The teacher comes in and says, "Good morning." We all reply. Then she says, "Today, I want you to think about something. How has speaking changed you?" This question stays in my mind. We start with a simple activity. The teacher says, "Talk to your partner. Tell them one thing you can do now that you could not do before." I turn to Ali. I say, "Before, I could not speak. Now I can talk to people." He smiles and says, "Before, I was afraid. Now I try." These sentences are simple, but they are full of meaning. The teacher walks around and listens. Then she says, "You see, speaking is not only about language. Speaking changes you as a person." I feel this deeply. After class, I go to the cafe again. This place is now part of my daily life. Before, I only ordered and left. Now I stay a little longer. The man at the counter sees me and says, "Hello again." I smile and say, "Hello, how are you today?" He says, "I am good. And you?" I say, "I am good too." Then something new happens. I ask, "Is it busy today?" He says, "Yes, a little." We talk for a few seconds more. This is not just an order. This is a conversation. I sit down with my tea. I look around. I see people talking. I hear English around me. And now I feel like I am part of it. Before, I was outside. Now I am inside. Later that day, something very special happens. I am walking on the street. I see a man with a map. He looks confused. He looks left and right. Then he looks at me and says, "Excuse me, can you help me?" I stop. This is the same moment as before, the same situation, the same question. But this time, I am different. I smile and say, "Yes, how can I help you?" He says, "I am looking for the bus station." I think for a second. Then I say, "Go straight, then turn left. The bus station is there." He smiles and says, "Thank you very much." I say, "You're welcome." He walks away. I stand there for a moment. I feel something strong in my heart. Last time I stayed silent. This time I helped someone. This is a big moment. This is a real change. I walk home slowly. I think about what just happened. I say in my mind, talking changed this moment. Talking changed me. In the evening, I go to class again for a group activity. The teacher says, "Today, you will tell a short story about your week." When it is my turn, I stand up. I feel a little nervous, but I start. I say, "This week I start speaking. Before I was silent. Now I speak every day. Today I help a man. I feel proud." My classmates clap. The teacher smiles. I feel warm inside. After class, the teacher says something I will never forget. She says, "When you speak, you open doors. Doors to people. Doors to opportunities. Doors to a new life." I think about this sentence again and again. At home, I sit with my notebook. I write slowly. Speaking is not just practice. Speaking is life. I also write, when I speak, I connect. When I connect, I grow. Now I understand something very deep. English is not only words. English is connection. English is communication. English is confidence. Talking helps me meet people. Talking helps me express my ideas. Talking helps me help others. Before, I was quiet. I had thoughts, but I could not share them. Now I can speak. Now I can share. This changes everything. The next day, I try something new again. I talk to a new student in class. He's quiet, just like I was before. I say, "Hello, my name is Ahmed. What is your name?" He says, "My name is Ben." I smile and say, "Nice to meet you. Do not worry. Speak slowly. It is okay." He smiles. He feels better. In that moment, I realize something powerful. I am not only learning now, I am helping others learn. This is a new feeling, a strong feeling. That night, I stand in front of the mirror again. I look at myself and say, I can speak. I am confident. I am growing. I believe these words. Now I know the truth. Talking changed my confidence. Talking changed my thinking. Talking changed my life. I am still learning. This is only the beginning. But now I am not afraid of the journey, because I know one simple thing. If I speak, I move forward. If I stay silent, I stay the same. So I choose to speak. Every day, every moment, every chance. Because talking is not just important. Talking changes everything.